Hi, welcome to Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons, and at the GEOINT 2022 Symposium here in Denver, Colorado, I have the pleasure of speaking with Rodney Saffold. Rodney, tell me a little bit about who you are, and we'll dive into your company.
Okay. So I'm Rodney Saffold. I've been in the geospatial world for about 10 years now, working with all sorts of customers from our international partners down to currently our warfighter support offices in doing some of their CETA support and analysis with system engineering.
How'd you get started in the geospatial industry?
It was interesting because of the fact that I was coming out of the space industry, and then from there I moved from California out to Virginia and got my first break with an offer to come and be a contractor at NGA.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so going full circle here, what is your company, and what do they do?
Okay, so my company is USIC, which stands for Universal Systems Information Consultant, small minority-owned company, whereas I am the president and CEO of that company. And what we are doing is providing system engineering and program management and acquisition support to our GEOINT customers. But we also work at the state and local levels as well.
Awesome. What are the challenges that a lot of your customers face that you can help them solve?
A lot of what they're facing is right now, we're all in the challenge of just making sure that we can find the right expertise as far as getting those systems engineers in there to do what they need to do, just based off of coming out of the pandemic and how we're all recruiting for that same talent of engineers that are out there.
Okay, all right. So coming to a conference like this, I imagine you get a lot of insights to how you can even enhance those services you provide, right?
Absolutely. So I've been able to, network with people as well as provide them with what it is that I do, capability statements that clearly articulate what it is that we're doing, the areas that we support that. So people have been very appreciative to be able to receive that in hard copy and then can be able to follow up with me.
Oh, perfect. And now as far as your company, why go to you? Why you say come to us because?
Yeah, and I would say come to us because of the fact that number one, we've been in the geospatial industry for the last 10 years, working directly at NGA at their HQ. So we understand the customer set, and some of the challenges that they face. But we also have a good relationships with our international partners, because people in partnership is what the director preaches in his messages. But at the same time, that's what we do and go off, and we understand those different cultures to be able to foster those relationships. Whereas to a lot of people that may not understand that international base and being able to provide GEOINT to those customers in those overseas locations.
Excellent. Now, going to this conference and walking the exhibit floor, I'm sure you're seeing some amazing things on the floor, right?
Yeah.
And doing what you do with your company, providing those types of insights to your customer, I imagine you have certain types of thought leadership and opinions related to what you're seeing on the floor.
Absolutely.
Tell me about some of the most interesting things that you think, from a trend standpoint, are emerging that apply to your customers.
I think one of the most important things that I've seen now is, of course, with the AI and the ML and how we're using the clouds to be able to do that. So one of the most interesting things that I saw and didn't know of was that Oracle Cloud is making headways into NGA and what it is that we're doing in the geospatial intelligence world. So stopping by there, understanding their recognized systems that they have and how they're building those out, and being able to have future conversations with them to be able to understand maybe how we can partner together to be able to provide those solutions, not only to our CONUS customers, but as well as our own CONUS partners that we have.
Awesome. So what do you think are the major things? I mean, you deal a lot with acquisitions types.
Absolutely.
So, and there's a lot of talk about acquisitions and getting even small businesses involved with NGA and the government. What would you say is the biggest hurdles or walls that the industry still has to overcome for penetrating these acquisition just getting involved, or what are we still trying to overcome as an industry?
So I think one of the biggest things that I think that we're facing is speed to market, and how quickly the government can turn around their acquisition processes to get something out there, and then from there being able to compete it and then award it. And sometimes those things takes months and years on end, and that's a small business, waiting on those things to come to be awarded, and how we have limited resources to be able to go out and then just try to acquire those things. The longer it takes, the more that it stretches us out from doing other things, because we only have a small amount of resources to get that done in the acquisition world.
From a policy standpoint, if you can change any one thing to make your job easier, what would that be?
Policy-wise, I don't know if it's particularly policy, but if I would say one thing for small business, especially trying to work within the GEOINT community, or probably in the IC in general, especially in the clear space, helping small businesses get those facility clearances to move forward, because right now we're dependent on other companies that may be a little bit bigger than us to sponsor us. If we can have that process just done by the government themselves, I believe that will help a lot of us moving forward.
And that significantly delays the process if it's not done, and while you're waiting, you're not getting paid, right?
Right.
And
So because I can't bring on people without that facility clearance, and I have to also have relationships with other companies who already has facility clearance. So it's one of those, okay, then what are you doing for me in order for me to give you this facility clearance? Then when you get there, then it's like, okay, now I can provide support or people to this particular contract.
That's a small business killer if they don't, it's in some cases, right?
Yeah, in some cases it is. So
awesome. As we're wrapping up here, is there any last minute things you would like to relay about your company and the things that you can provide to your potential customers?
Yeah, I think what I would say is that the company has been around for a few years now, and that we're really eager to team with those companies that may be coming out of the small business category in order to work with someone like myself and my team to be able to grow and foster us into the company that we know that we can be. So we're just waiting for the opportunity to be able to provide them with that program management and acquisition support, CETA, system engineering support, and architecture, and our international experience to those other maybe mid-sized companies.
And for those watching this segment, how do they get a hold of you? How do they reach out to your company?
So they reach out to me. They can go to www.usic-llc.com, and they will find my information there.
Excellent. Well,
Right.
I thank you very much for giving us insights about yourself as
Okay.
well as your amazing company.
All right.
I'm Adam Simmons, Project Geospatial. We'll talk to you next time.